I get these things, sometimes they don't. What can I say?
Good morning.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Ooh!
We are live?
We're live. Turn around, Bubble Eyes.
Yeah, but
I'm like, what the heck? We're live. Deanna, hi, Deanna. Deanna's up early.
Yeah, he's like, the countdown reset it. Okay. Thanks for the warning.
Oh,
Woohoo. This is how we
Good
roll.
morning.
This is how we roll in the cold.
Yes, it
We're
is.
rolling in the cold.
It is a chilly
Do you know?
New England morning.
Now, my chickens have it easy, okay? Because they have like 2 heat lamps in their little chicken palace.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, yeah, they're kept snugly.
Now,
But yesterday, their eggs were frozen. Frozen like cracked frozen rocks. I threw them on the ground and they bounced.
that's kind of gross.
Goodness.
Those poor chickens.
But, okay, chickens are cold-blooded, right?
I have no. No.
No, okay. never mind.
Cold-blooded are like snakes, right? And
Yeah,
lizard?
but
no.
aren't chickens descendants from lizards?
No. I say no.
I think
But you're
we're
probably
closest
right,
to
but I don't want to even
That's
think
what I'm
about
saying.
that.
They're like dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are cold-blooded.
Okay.
Okay,
Somebody's
move on.
got to Google chicken
Oh,
blood.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking something else. But anyway, I
We
was
might,
just
if
going
we
to say...
Google chicken blood, though, we might not like what we get.
No, I'm just... Because
You know,
if they were
because there's
cold-blooded...
cults out there that drink chicken blood.
Because they're cold-blooded... If they're cold-blooded like crocodiles, they'd be kind of funny when it gets cold because they like start moving really slow.
they were warm blooded.
They're warm-blooded.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
producer.
Thank you for getting that.
Yep.
I thought I don't like cold-blooded things.
All right. Well, so now that we've established that chickens
Yeah,
are warm-blooded,
they
which
are.
makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, because if they...
That was a good show.
Are you
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Are you thinking?
Anyway, I just was saying if they were cold-blooded like
Hey, Tim,
crocodiles,
good
it'd be funny.
morning.
Okay. So anyway, thanks for joining us for another episode of Shenanigans with Brent and Becky. Apparently, Becky has an exciting show planned for us today.
My goodness.
So let me get the shop news out of the way so that we can get to her excitement.
Yay!
She's so excited she's dancing, and it's early. It's almost too early in the day to be dancing.
Well, if you stay up all night, it's not.
True. I remember once as kids we stayed
You
up.
look like you're just waking up yourself. Are you feeling okay?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
All right, just a little
I
tired.
might have hat head because I wore a hat because it was cold in my car.
Not
But I was going to tell you my up all night story. As children, we did that. Oh, I think we must have been teenagers, and we had Cheerios in the morning. And I remember that one of my friends was laughing so hard because you know how you get really punchy when you're tired. They had Cheerios coming out of his nose. It was really kind of funny.
How did the Cheerios get it? Did it go like back his
Yeah, back.
throat and
Yeah,
up his
yeah,
nose?
yeah. Because he was
A
laughing.
whole Cheerio?
The Cheerios and the milk
Like-
were just coming out. It was.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I can beat that, though. I can beat that. I was eating a sub with caramelized onions in it at work and talking.
Mm-hmm.
And this
I can't believe that
onion,
you would eat and talk.
this onion went up my nose and was like right here. And when you opened your throat, you could still see the onion here. And I'm like, oh my God, it was disgusting. I had to go to the hospital so they could pull my onion out my nose.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Is that mercury right?
It was, see, good morning.
At least
Good
the Cheerios
morning.
were kind of
Good
funny. The
morning.
onion just
But
is
you
like
could,
a.
I'm like, and I was gagging because
I
it was
couldn't
hanging
imagine-
here
I couldn't
and
imagine-
hanging here, and I'm like,
Wait, why did you just pull it out?
I couldn't get all the way up there,
Oh.
and I couldn't get,
Oh, it was stopped.
I
Oh.
couldn't get back here. I just knew it was.
This is the stuff that everybody tunes in for right there.
I knew it was here, and I could see it here. So they ended up going up through my nose to pull it
And
out
this
my
and this
nose.
is why we edit things, right?
Yes.
All right.
Good
So
Morning, Jean!
shop news. We've got some classes on the schedule.
What other nasty stories do you all have?
Yes. So shop news. We got
Have you
the
ever had an onion stuck somewhere where it shan't be?
that could
Or a
just-
Cheerio?
a Cheerio.
Take her caffeine away.
I
Oh.
don't even have it.
Frosty, the infamous Frosty, will be starting next Wednesday to Block 1.
Yay!
Yeah. And there's also, if you also look at the calendar, that's going to be on for a couple Wednesdays and a Saturday. We've got a few days planned for it because we're kind of not sure how
I
much
have
fun
no
you're
idea
going to
how
have.
it's
Yeah.
going to go.
We've also got a block of the month starting A week from Saturday.
Hey, what's that midnight block of the month look like, Brent?
We're getting that made up this week. Next week we'll
no,
have a
there's
picture.
a picture of midnight block of the month. We got picture.
Oh, yeah, we got a picture. Eddie has it there for us, right there.
This is a piecing project, right?
Yeah,
Danny colorized it with electric quilt.
yeah.
That's
Did I
not
hear-
the color though.
Oh.
But that's what
But
it's gonna
that's
look
the
like.
quilt.
Yeah, it's
That's
gonna
the
be, and
quilt.
we're gonna do it out of grunt. It's gonna be done with a Moda Grunge
Motor grunge.
to get everybody excited about
and
that.
every week they're going to get a
That's
block.
month. It's a month.
I mean, every month they're going to get one block,
Yeah.
and they can come in and do it or not come in and
Yes.
do it. And the price will include everything they'll need for the finishing. Not
Good.
when I say finishing, not backing and binding.
That's correct. Well, I think we'll have binding in there.
We'll have binding in there.
Yeah,
but
everything,
not backing.
everything to get the quilt
So
top
you're
done. Yes.
paying ahead a little bit in the monthly thing.
Yeah.
So at the very end, when you need to do all the backing,
It's all there,
paid
yep.
for.
Yep.
Got it.
So that's going to start. We're going to try and run that 2 times a month, once during the week and once at night, once on a weekend. So it's going to get started.
I'd like to know how many people would like Sunday classes instead of,
Sunday instead of Saturdays.
yeah.
For which one?
But let me get the dates on that. So that's going to be the 22nd and the 25th.
I
is
just
what we have
taken
on
a
the.
general poll out there.
And so now,
Hi, Ian.
so now
Good
it's been put
morning.
out there.
Jolene's in the house. I haven't seen her for
Yeah.
a
We
while.
would like to know how big the.
I want to say it's going to be like a 670 by 80.
I think it's 80 by 98.
Yeah, it's a good.
The-
it's
we're
a good
talking
size.
about
the block of the month.
Midnight. No,
Midnight.
We've had this discussion. We have several block of the months going. We're
The midnight.
training Brent to use the name
It-
Midnight.
yes,
Midnight.
I'm assuming that's the one she's talking about.
yes.
Is it the one you're talking about, Jolene?
But that's gonna be on the 22nd and the 25th. Becky just brought up this point. If you're interested in Sunday classes, I guess let us know.
I'm just curious because I know
That's
some
a-
people they
But that's like-
work on Saturdays and they work during the week, and I don't know.
That's fine. I'm just saying that.
Let's take a poll.
We'll
yeah.
see. We'll see how that
I'm
goes.
curious.
That
what,
might be something that we start.
What our people are interested in.
The other thing we'll start is Tabletopper of the Month is supposed to start this month. However, I did talk to where the kits are coming from, and
Yeah.
those aren't in country yet. So
This is
Fingers
getting really
crossed,
difficult
there's-
for us quilt shops to keep going.
fingers crossed. We'll have it for the end of this month, but currently it's on the calendar for the 29th of January. I don't know that we're going to have the kits in time. That might have to get bumped out, but that is still something that's on the calendar. We're going to try and make that happen as close as we can to that date. And then the other big thing that we have everything for, because we just always do, is beginner quilting starts on January 20th. It's going to be a Wednesday. It runs for 3 weeks. It's check out the website. All the details are there.
149.
Yeah, 149, and and what you end up with is a complete quilt when you're done. But most people that are watching this right now probably already would know how to do that. But if you have somebody that's interested in learning to quilt, let them know. That's getting started. That's what's on its way. On its way. It's on the calendar. Anyway, that's all I have. I don't really have any shop news. We're nothing aside from, there's been no fabric or anything that exciting has come in.
That's so sad.
It
But-
is sad.
But we're getting there.
Well, it's not our
We do
fault,
have
but
I do have a
still.
freight truck coming by today with machines, so I'm hoping that we have sewing machines.
A board?
I've been playing phone tag about the board. Yes, I've been. In fact, I got an email. In fact, I just got an email that it was in my the
That's
board.
a screenshot. Your face.
Just so you
Yeah.
know, I've been waiting months.
Oh,
for
I
this
checked the
board.
order on the board. The board was ordered October 15th.
Months.
Yeah, months.
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 Brent.
Oh yeah.
Months.
I'm
I've
not-
been waiting for my board.
Yeah, I've yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy me a baby lock pretty soon.
So that is everything we got going on, and so I guess that's shop news. I'm gonna kick it over to Becky now for quiz time.
Quiz time!
Quiz
Where's your
time!
kitty cat?
I don't know. They took.
Well,
oh.
was-
They
you
took your
want it?
kitty cat
My-
away
yeah, they-
from
yeah.
you.
Yeah, we have to really figure out how to
Oh.
wire that into the soundboard.
Oh, I like the kitty cat. Speaking of funny noises, okay, now y'all know I got this crazy mattress. Well, I don't have it. My husband has it. It's this water thing. Remember that leaked, and he thought he wet the bed.
Wait.
So
So
they
he
replaced it.
he has a mattress, but you don't. So you're
No,
ki-
we both have
So it's
it.
kind of like the Brady Bunch.
But it's one
where-
of those
where
that you
the-
can
the-
adjust.
The twin beds.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
twin beds on opposite
And you
sides
push
of the
it
bedroom.
together.
Cause
Yeah.
Because
But anyway, so he sprung a leak. Remember, I told y'all he thought he wet himself, but it wasn't. It was a leak in the mattress because it's like a water mattress on the top that is either cold or hot, depending on. Anyway,
So he's telling you what sprung a leak.
it sprang a leak.
Okay.
I got to say. So they sent him a brand new one, and that one sprung a leak. Like within 2 weeks, that one sprung a leak too. So he's like, okay, well, I want my mattress cover. So they sent him a new one. So he puts it on last night and warns me before I go to bed, you might hear some funny noises because it's not completely primed yet. I'm laying in bed and I felt like I was inside your stomach. I'm like, oh my Lord. And then he had it set too cold, so I got no sleep last night. Sorry, honey.
So that's why
Throwing
you're
you.
wired this morning. Okay.
But it wasn't leaking yet.
Lack of sleep.
It only
Two.
leaks under his butt twice. Tell me what's going on over there.
He had tacos.
Danny said you had tacos. He doesn't eat tacos. Okay, so where was I? Oh, quiz time. Thank you. Quiz time. Based on last week's show, only one correct answer. $10 gift card waiting for you at
Close-
4 Pines. Ready?
Closest without going over.
Ready? Ready? Deb says Sundays are good. Woo! Are you guys ready?
I'm.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Do it.
Give me the first name of the winner of Quilt of the Week
What?
from last week's show. The first name of the winner of
I remember dentures.
Quilt of the Week, last week's show. Not easy, but it's doable. Everybody, you don't even remember.
I don't.
Okay. Anybody, this is one you don't even know.
I think I
Come
know the
on.
answer. Is it a trick question?
Are you gonna give us a hint? Like, which quilt was it? They all.
Quilt of the Week, last week.
No, but what-
Brent.
Yeah, I know.
What was
Brent.
on it?
You didn't do your job last week. There was no Quilt of the Week because Brent didn't get it done.
All right, I don't think there was one. Deb
No!
gets it.
Hey,
Yay!
Deb! Woo!
At least somebody paid attention.
Yay, Deb!
I was confused. I was
And
like,
I
I
this
didn't have
is
a
bad.
quiz of
I
the
said,
week.
this is bad. I said, well, I know what I'm saying for a quiz because you didn't do your
Yeah.
job.
So that's a nice segue into Quilt of the Week. Yeah.
You better
This is
have
the-
one this week.
I do. So this is a good one. And I'm only going to show this because
Oh, I like how they did the little.
I know, and
I do.
but there's a really interesting lesson here. So you want to zoom in on that for me, Eddie?
Tammy, if you're watching, look at this. Which pattern was this in one of the
Just
3
one of those,
yards?
yeah, the 3-yard books.
Tammy, pay attention because she wants to do something out of this fabric.
So this is a fantastic quilt, and what's awesome, I really like the way it came out, but she made it wrong when she dropped it off.
She made it wrong.
She wanted, and it makes sense what she wanted to do, but it's really came out. I liked the way it came
I
out.
love how she did the little kitties.
Yeah, well, she wanted to, because the kitties are more of a focus print.
Yeah.
She wanted to use in the big because it's a bigger print. It would have looked. She thought it would have looked better in the squares.
I like it French.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And so,
I
If you were-
really
yeah,
like
if
them
you were
little,
making-
because they're little kitties.
if you were making this logically, the larger print, you would have been like, we should have used that for the larger squares because your focus print.
No, but look at their cute little faces.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I grabbed it because it came out really neat like this. It was kind of a happy accident,
God,
as
look at
Bob
this-
Ross
look-
says.
Look at this kitty. Look at. I really like
Yeah,
that.
that's why I want to do Quilt of the Week because, like, so she
I
dropped it off.
think-
She's like, I screwed up this quilt. I put
No, I think
yeah.
if she had done it differently, the kitties wouldn't have come out as
Yeah, it wouldn't pop,
focused.
yeah, it wouldn't have popped
I
as nice.
love the striped around it, and I'm literally looking at all these little kitties
I
going,
think-
oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's a fantastic quilt.
great job. Who?
Jean,
Jean.
Yep.
That Jean or a different Jean?
a different Jean.
Nicely done. Free quilting,
Free quilting,
to
yes.
Jean, and I really like that.
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to do it because
Tammy,
because you can see where if you looked at it logically, you can see where the bigger print. You could say, well, I want to
but
use
they
that for the
have
bigger
little
squares.
faces.
I know. I'm just saying. I like the way it
I
came
like
out.
it a
It came
lot.
out fantastic.
Good idea.
So-
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So that was Quilt of the Week.
Congratulations, Jean. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. We doing turbo tip?
Yeah, let's go to turbo tip.
All right, again, Brent, I'm throwing you under the bus. Surprise!
Well, somebody's got to,
Surprise!
somebody's got to be the speed bump for that bus
Surprise!
before it gets out of
Becky's
control.
just gonna go. So
I can't wait to hear what I've.
I have been chattering. I'll use the word chattering for the last 2 weeks about my threads and my needles.
Mm-hmm.
And my skipping of my stitches and my pulling out and not cutting. And you just kind of like, go, okay, enough, Becky, enough. And you shut me off.
I didn't do that.
You always do that.
Okay.
So, I'm hoeing out my craft room because, now I'm painting the walls and putting new lights in too. The floor is done, so of course we have to go. Yeah, so I'm literally doing every single nook and cranny. And I come across this near my 10 needle.
Yeah, Soars Aid.
See, I knew you were going to have that face. Did you get a catch-up of that? Say that again.
Soars Aid.
Yeah, So's Aid.
It's like the greatest thing ever invented. It works fantastic.
And what's it work fantastic for, Brent?
You just throw it on thread and it makes thread behave itself.
And did you even say Becky could be
I didn't
some
even.
So's Aid?
I didn't
or
even
did you say,
think of it.
what about the needle up, down, needle bar height? What about the timing on your machine?
I didn't even think of Soars Aid. It's one of those.
I didn't either, and that's my tip for all of you.
And that's one of the things. That's the first thing I do on my long arms. Oh, it's misbehaving. Put some Soars Aid on. I don't even think of it for embroidery
This
machines.
needs to be in your repertoire. It needs to be next to your embroidery machine. Let's show how easy it is to use. It solved every problem.
I didn't even think of that, and it would make sense this time of year too because everything
That's
dries
the other
out.
thing. And last time I had this problem, and you said, get some So's Aid a couple years ago. It
See, I
was
remembered
during
then.
the winter.
Yeah, I remembered
And it was
then,
with
so
a
it's good
10
for me.
needle, right?
Yes.
I hope you have some of this because
I should.
You
because
better.
I usually keep it on the shelf because I use it.
now I particularly noticed it with my Aurifil, which is a cotton
Yeah,
thread.
cotton is
not
gonna,
so much with the polyester.
cotton makes
just
a
so
big
you know.
a big difference on cotton
And
or
I
mercantile
really
poly.
wanted to use cotton on Frosty because of the look I was going for, and I really want to use Aurifil on the Claudia Dinnell design we're doing. Diddle Dunnell. Claudia Dunnell.
Dental?
Dinnell Dunnell?
Dental? We're doing like dental, like teeth?
No, Dunnell. Claudia Dunnell. Remember I
Okay.
had you get
Yeah, I
those
know.
patents?
Yeah.
Oh, you're just being a wise guy. Okay. So anyway, with cotton,
Payback.
when a cotton thread and it's dry, I don't know why. Do you know why? Never mind. We don't
No,
care
I don't
why.
know.
Here's what works. You just put a little stripe of this stuff right along here. I mean, that much.
Get a close up of that, Eddie.
That much. Eddie's like, I don't care what she's talking about. That much. Okay? See
That's
that?
all it takes.
And then, yeah, and what happens is apparently when the thread comes off the spool, it gets its little bit of juice.
Yep.
Sometimes, though, I'm guilty of doing this just because
Just gonna rub it in.
I like to. Yeah. But honest to Pete, I did that to every color,
and it ran
and
fine.
I don't know if you can get a close up on the brown, but I actually left some bad stitching in. Did it again so you could see what I was talking about. I don't know if we can get it. Yeah. See those brown stitches that look like zigzags
Yeah.
on the right hand side? Those are skip stitches. Those are blanket stitches that didn't stitch right. So I put my sewing aid on, went around it again, and they're perfect. So I'm gonna
No,
probably
you
pick
see,
out
I
the
wouldn't have.
zigzag,
I wouldn't have
but-
picked up on that because usually you get shredded thread, and I've not run into skip stitches. But that's interesting.
Yeah, it solved it.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's my turbo tip. After 2 weeks of struggling, this little puppy is now back on the top of the desk instead of hidden in the desk.
So that brings us. Wow, we're moving right along.
So you need to get some of this.
We're almost making this too easy for see because Danny was saying that we ramble too much and we had to tighten
I
up
do.
our videos.
I do.
But we're doing really good today. We're staying on target.
Okay, well I have one more tip. Can I have
Ooh,
two
no, you can
turbo
have
tips?
as many tips as you want.
Again, this is something that I used and I went, oh, I don't. Now, there's a lot of fun you can have with this stuff. It's called Glueless Reusable Tape.
Oh, that's just basically the thread guard stuff.
Yeah, but you can buy it by the roll at Home Depot.
It's a lot of fun just watching you fight with it.
You
Right.
gotta find. This is why you never close it down. Okay, where's my end? Okay, I'm gonna let you look for the end.
Okay, and then
It's around there somewhere. Glueless tape. I was preparing some goodies for Brenda to bring in, and they were big goodies, and I didn't want to crease them, so I rolled them. And then I said, oh, I don't want to squish my fabric. I want to just make sure it doesn't unfold on me. So this sticks to itself.
Snippity snip snips.
We're gonna get a snippy snip.
Snipper McSnippers.
This sticks to itself, but not to anything else.
Oh.
So you can use it on your fabric. You also can have fun, tying people up with it. Because watch, give me your wrists.
The fact that you know this really concerns me.
It's not that type of show, lady.
It is today.
Makes me wonder what's buried under the chicken
your
coop.
wrists are big. Okay, let me just do your fingers.
Do your kitten wrist.
Watch this. Watch this, people. And it doesn't stick to you.
No, it doesn't.
And it's reusable. Okay. Take those fingers out.
I mean, I could slide them out.
Oh, no, you can't. That's
But you want me to, you can't.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So if
You can
I
do a couple
tied
more
your
over here.
wrist to the headboard, there's no way you're getting out.
I'll keep that in mind.
That's what she said.
I really do think that's what was said at one point.
I'm pretty
But
sure.
this you can buy, and it does work for thread spools as well.
Yeah, the Wonder Guards that Wonderful makes is probably the similar stuff.
I'm
but it's,
sure it
Yeah,
is,
but it's a
but
little bit wider too.
You can buy this by the roll and at Home Depot and probably even Walmart. I haven't checked Walmart, and I use it for lots of things because there's no sticky.
Does
I
it
like
come
it.
in different widths?
I probably, if you went searching for different widths, it would.
Isn't what you used on the bobbin tip?
It is, but I made it too small, and I thought, well, I'm not doing that again.
Okay.
But I do have a tip for that too. Look, I'm just full of tips today. I used it on a bobbin thread, and then I couldn't find the end, just like now.
Okay, you do an overhead shot here, Eddie.
If you take a piece of thread and put it on your roll before you put it down, see how I have a piece of thread in there? Mm-hmm. Then it's like, yeah, I can find my end much easier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
we just should have done that before.
We should have, but it was
And now
more
I'm
fun.
doing
It was,
it now, but see?
it was more fun to find the end.
So if you do that,
It was.
so if I,
Yes.
yeah, it's good to go. All right, anyway, so that's my turbo tip.
Okay, turbo tips.
Turbo
Yay!
tips. Turbo tips today.
So now we're moving on to the workbench. This is a very specific tech tip for you today.
Is it sewer's aid?
No. Only because I had somebody come in with a broken featherweight. And then this reminded me of a time that I got a really good deal on a featherweight because it was broken.
Ah.
And I thought I would show you all how to fix this very common
sure it's
broken
on here.
problem. Because you see this a lot with a featherweight. Like I said, I picked one up at a flea market. I got it for about $100 less than what I should have paid for it because it was broken. Because it felt like it was jammed up. And this is very common. If you have a featherweight, you take it apart to clean it, put it back together, and you haven't used it for a while, you might forget this. And so, let me just show you. I've already taken the I've already taken the needle plate, the screws out of the needle plate. But what happens is if you look closely on the needle plate, there is a groove right there. And what often happens when you see how there, if I turn it sideways, you got that groove?
Oh, yeah.
What happens if you take this apart to clean it, which is I haven't cleaned this one obviously, but that's nice and grimy looking. But whenever you take this off, what happens is that needs to line up. Can you get down inside here?
No.
You see how when this spins, as I'm going to spin the, see how the whole thing is spinning now? So what happens is when you put I'm going to pull this guy out because you don't want to care about, that's the bobbin case. But you see how this whole hook is spinning now? When you take your needle plate off, I'll push it, no, you're good. When you take your needle plate off, this right there, that little nub needs to be inside that raceway that's on your needle plate. That's what keeps this from spinning freely. So what'll happen is if you don't put that on right, this spins and jams up, and you can get a really good deal on these if you find them at a flea market and it's jammed up. or find it at a yard sale. It doesn't work. And all it is that the needle plate you just have to make sure that needle plate, of course I've got my needle down, when we put the needle plate on, I'm hoping you guys can all see this. You see how, I didn't put it on right because see that little tab down there? That needs to be up inside of here. This is kind of weird doing this. I don't know how the weatherman does this.
No.
But, no, that's upside down. So all I'm going to do is, let me just pop that needle plate off so you can all struggle through this with me. Anyway, you can see how that needle plate has to come up to make room for, it's hard to do and keep it on camera. There, pull that off. We'll line that up on the top. As you, maybe it should be a hand model. So we're gonna try and line that up right there on the top. This is much easier to do without trying to do it on camera. And that drops on there. And of course, it's not sitting in there quite right. And then you see how that's now caught in there. So what happens when I turn the hand wheel? You see how the hook on the outside moves, but not the inside. So what often happens when you pull that plate off? What often happens when you pull the needle plate off to clean it, and you don't line that back up, then the machine's gonna jam up. And what you'll see a lot of times, like I said, you'll see these for sale, and it'll be a nice featherweight, and then you go to try it, and it jams up, and you're like, oh, it's broken. It's probably not. Somebody probably got it from their grandmother, took it apart to clean it, put it back together wrong, and now it's jammed, sitting on a shelf somewhere. Like I said, I picked one out of a flea market for, I think I got it for like $150 because it was broken. And knowing what I do, I took a quick look at it. I didn't take it apart there at the store, and picked it up. That very common on featherweights. Like I said, if you have a featherweight and you don't use it very often, you may forget that when you go to clean it. And then, like I said, I had one come in yesterday. She loves her featherweight. She pulled it out for something else, and she was all concerned that she had broken it. And we had it fixed in about 2 minutes. I mean, you can see how quick it goes. But that's just a quick tip for the day. So it's very common, like I said, kind of specific to featherweights, but you know. It's a good one, and like I said, if you find them at flea markets or yard sale, jammed up 9 times out of 10, that's all that's wrong with it.
Cool beans.
Very cool.
Or just bring it into you.
Yeah.
You could do that, yes.
And you'll fix it, right?
Of course.
Ho, 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 ho.
And it'll even run when we're done.
Ho, 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 ho.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. I mean, featherweights, honestly, there's not a lot to them. And you can still get almost all the parts for them. So if you ever find one that doesn't quite run, as long as it's not rusted out, you can get it back running. So anyway, that's the turbo tip. Yeah, or not the turbo, workbench.
The workbench.
Workbench. The workbench. Now we're moving on to the project du jour. I don't know if that's French or not. I know the du jour part was.
I don't either.
Projecto.
I'm going to show it off again. Block 1.
Why do I say du jour, not del
I should
dia?
put tape and a piece of thread in here, so I don't want to cut it. See how good this stuff works?
Apparently.
So, why is it soup du jour instead of soup del dia?
I don't know.
Why is there this cultural...
I don't know. Why is it hors d'oeuvre and not hors d'oeuvre?
Well, I mean, it's all French. I'm just saying,
It's
you have all
audible.
these like fancy words that are French.
I know Grey Poupon.
My son, I still laugh every time. He was at a very, very fancy restaurant in Boston. Like, 100 plus a person, like
Just to sit down.
uppity restaurant.
Jacket required.
I don't know about that, but they have a lovely fancy steak dinner. He's gonna kill me. And he picked up the dessert menu, and he said, "Excuse me, can you tell me what the chocolate souffle is?" Sorry, Craig.
You didn't have to say his name.
I still laugh to this day because his wife's like, "What?" And the waiter's like, "Souffle?" He goes, "Oh,
Souffle.
souffle. I don't know, but it was totally wrong, and it was just chocolate souffle. But anyway, so we all
I can
knew
see.
he didn't belong in that restaurant.
Either that, he failed French in high school. I mean, one of the
He
two.
didn't take French, but anyway.
Yes, Deb. The sewer's aid will help with split embroidery thread.
Are we talking about? We're talking about sewer's aid, Deb?
You want to turn that around?
Well, I was going to hold it up, but if you
Oh.
want me to rather turn it around.
Oh, you can hold it up. I just noticed. I was just looking at the.
Boy, that red looks orange on my camera. It's
Yeah,
not.
we gotta
It's-
get a better camera, overhead
it's
cam.
very these are red. They're Christmas red colors. They're not orange. The green is not that yellow either. Just so y'all know,
It looks red over here though.
it does.
Yeah.
It might be
Okay.
a monitor. Who knows?
This is
It's your mom.
finally block 1 of Frosty.
Yeah.
And this has so many trial and error things on it. I want to discuss some of them. One of them is what Fusible do I use? So we're going to cover my trials and tribulations of Fusible because I tried 4 different ones on this sample.
Okay.
The other thing we're going to talk about is the stabilizer because I tried several different stabilizers on this sample and I have a preferred method. Why are you looking? You see, he's alien.
I'm just
looking.
no. I'm just thinking what I'm gonna have to buy now so everybody can do this.
Yes,
Yes. See.
yes.
Nothing that I
Some of
thought.
it-
Nothing that
some
I
of it
thought
you
we were
already
gonna.
have.
Nothing I thought-
Most of it you already have.
Nothing I thought we were gonna need.
Well,
So it's not in
do you
stock.
want your people to be successful?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool beans.
Whenever you start talking about experimenting, I'm like, okay.
That's all I do.
Cha-ching.
This has all been cut on the Cricut.
Okay.
It's all been machine embroidered. So none of this, I don't know if we can get a close up. It's all blanket stitched. I know. And one of the things I learned about now see, I'm messing you up again, Ed. Whoop, there we go. See, it's all blanket stitched. Even the little decals they gave us, which by the way, we have some different decals to show off, but I didn't put them on here yet. Yes, it's all machine done in the hoop.
And if you do want to do Frosty, the actual instructions are for hand applique.
They are.
So you can still do that if you want.
You can, and we can still cut it. We can still cut your pieces on the Cricut. You don't have to put adhesive on them if you don't want to, but I would if I was doing a blanket stitch, just so I don't have fraying edges. The other thing is if you want to do a needle turned applique, you get all the patterns in your thing. You can do as much by hand as you want.
Yeah.
I
But
wasn't
the fun
enjoying
was
that.
trying to do it by machine.
Yeah, for me that was
Yeah.
the fun part. So this is with a 9.5 by 14 hoop, which is like Dream
Machine and above, yes.
Yeah,
Or
this-
a Stellaire.
Yeah, still there will
Yeah.
do it. This was 4 hoopings.
For one block.
Quadrant. Yeah, including the quilting. And what I did with the quilting, if you like this quilting, this is
If
a
you
pattern that...
wake this
If
quilting.
you like quilting, wabbit.
I wake your quilting. Kill the
The
rabbit,
background quilting that you
kill the
see
web.
is unique to Kimberbell's blue tiles.
Yes.
If you bought blue tiles, this is the winter quilting pattern that you got in the blue tiles. That's the only way you can get this pattern.
And we should have more blue tiles in stock shortly.
But it doesn't mean you have to do the background quilting. You can choose not to do the background quilting. I wanted to do the background quilting because I think it dressed up the scene a little bit better. And what I used for batting, after much to do, was Kimberbell's project batting. And the reason I recommend that is it is so thin. It's very thin. See how thin that is? And I'm going to add a big piece of batting to the quilt when it's done. So I just wanted enough. I like the texture it gave to the applique and the quilting. I like the little puff. Just enough. So, and by the way, it's a great stabilizer. Just saying.
Well, isn't that what it's made for, to stabilize and bat at the same time?
I don't know, but it does.
I would have thought that's why,
It did a great job.
that's what makes it so
It did-
special.
I did not have
That's the
puckers.
magic of
It
it.
was real, because there's not heavy embroidery on this anyway, which led me to my other discovery. This is not trimmed down or anything either. So, just so you know, this is my raw edge, my raw size. Turn it around, Becky. Okay, right? Is that what you were going to say to me? Turn it around, Becky. So all of this has been digitized for everybody, which is fun. But then came the stabilizer. I did not hoop my project. I floated my project. And so I needed a stabilizer in the hoop to anchor my project to,
Which wasn't the batting.
which was not the bad.
Okay.
Question from Danny,
Why did you float it?
because it's easier to line things up if I'm not hooping my big hunky piece of material.
Okay.
What we did was, actually, remember I told you it's 4 quadrants?
Yeah.
You put your stabilizer in your hoop, and the first thing it's going to do is stitch out placement lines.
Ooh.
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy. And when you see how this is done, in the beginning I have you mark out the whole square. And those become your placement lines. And then if it's like I'm lining up an eave to the
Yeah.
roof,
Yeah.
then I will mark just the top part of the house on the stabilizer. So you easily know where your
Everything
thing is
goes.
going to go. But if you don't
Have-
float it, that's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So now we're
And
floating.
and because it's not super dense, you can float it and get away with it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. If it was super dense, the sticky back stabilizer takes care of it. That
Okay.
stuff is like, and you'll see, because I played with it, you'll see many different, many different stabilizers on the back. This part here is the sticky back tearaway,
Yeah.
the heavy duty stuff. I don't like it because now I got to take it all out, and it's a pain in the butt.
Can you picture Eddie? So that we can get the hand gestures.
Oh.
No, we don't like it. No.
For this project, because I'm blanking stitching, I don't want to be yanking with force against the blanket stitches. So I do not recommend the heavy duty sticky back stabilizer. Over here, I used a clean and tearaway.
Mm-hmm.
A very good clean tearaway, and I stuck it down with Becky's favorite glue.
Which is what?
Which is
I
what?
like
There's
that.
like 8.
I used a glue stick.
Okay.
I just used a fabric glue
Okay.
stick to temporarily stick it down. I liked that, except I liked how easy it was to get out. What I didn't like was I wanted to pin my fabric too, just to make sure it wasn't going to move.
tearaway is
And
not.
tearaway is not pin friendly.
No.
I was saying some nasty words and going, I just worked it up. So you can't pin it, but you can glue it. And it got me through just fine. So then I said, well, now what, Becky? Something better? Yep. This top, both these top sections, which I love. Do you see any stabilizer?
No. Did
No.
you use the Fusible water soluble?
I did.
Probably the most expensive stabilizer they make.
No, but listen.
I'm out.
Listen. It is so lightweight. It's usually recommended for like standing lace projects.
Yeah.
So I thought I won't be able to handle this project, but because I have the batting in there,
Oh, yeah.
it was a no-brainer. And then I just soaked it. I literally just took the whole block and stuck it in the sink.
Okay.
You have to cut out extra, although
Yeah.
there is a tearaway sticky back wash away.
Yep.
Oh yeah, baby, I found it.
Tear
So
away,
I'm going
sticky
to
back.
try that
But
next.
why would you want to tear away
Because
and the wash away?
Because cutting it away can get tricky. Like I got to go around these little snowflakes.
Yeah, but if it's already water soluble,
But I
why-
don't want all that glue in my sink.
oh, okay.
It worked. It worked.
No, I'm
It's
just curious.
At
I'm just-
this
that
point,
seems like a
it's,
weird,
it's my
redundant-
recommendation. It really
Tear away,
is.
sticky back, water soluble.
Water soluble.
Tear
I used
away, Fusible.
Kimberbell's. I
Okay.
used Kimberbell's one to do this, and I
Okay.
got it here.
So that means that I can order more of it if you got Kimberbell's.
I think you got it here.
I probably do because, like I said, if
But
it's,
I'm also going to try. I think it's Floriani that has, and I'm sure other people do too.
I think they're all coming out of 1 of 3 factories.
Yeah.
You know how that stuff
a
works.
sticky back, wash away, tear away.
Yes.
So, but you can use many different stabilizers, Brent. I also just used the tearaway,
And it came out fantastic.
and that is cheaper. So the good news is you can do whatever you want. It depends on what you want to do afterwards.
And how much work you.
I like just soaking it, and then it disappears. And I thought, wow, and it's nice. It's good. Anyway, so that's my stabilizer dilemmas.
Nice.
Now, let's talk about fusible dilemmas.
Fusible dilemmas, okay.
Because there are many fusibles. And by the way, Brent, I stumbled upon this when I was cleaning, and I haven't tried it yet.
Fusion stick?
Yeah, have you tried this?
We got it from Dime because it has our name on
Do
it.
you still have some more of this?
I can get more of it if we need to.
I'm going to try it. I haven't tried it.
I don't, yeah.
So, if you have a roll of this, I'm trying this next.
Okay.
Okay? Because I happen to have a big roll, and I'm like, oh, this is a good project to try that on.
Good.
Because it says it's double-sided adhesive, which is what you need, a double-sided adhesive.
Why double-sided?
Because I need to stick it to my applique.
Oh, you're talking for the...
I'm sorry, I'm talking about appliquing. I need to stick glue to this side,
But
and then I
that's-
need to stick it to that side.
But that's for the back of the fabric. That's not the actual stabilizer in the hoop.
Exactly.
Oh, see, I thought-
This is for my appliques.
Really?
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Nope.
I thought it was a...
That's what I'm telling you. I know, but look at it. I'm going to try it.
So it's basically just Wonder Under.
I think it is.
Okay.
See, you sell these things you don't even know what they are.
I just sell what people want. The only stuff I get excited about is when I get to order fabric, and then it comes in and
I
everybody's
just
like,
like
what were you
trying
thinking?
everything. So let's talk about Misty Fuse. And why I don't recommend Misty Fuse for this project.
Misty Fuse has kind of got a real niche use, I think.
And what niche would that be?
Art quilting.
But it's a pain in the butt-in-ski.
Yeah, but if you're doing like one of those things where you want like globs of thread on your project, you put some Misty Fuse down,
Okay.
throw your threads on it, hit it with an
Here's
iron.
how Misty Fuse works for those people who don't know and why I'm not using it for this project.
Well,
But you can, okay? It is a sheet of glue. Sorry, Ed, I don't know what I'm doing. A sheet of glue.
It's
Look at this.
basically Wonder Under without the wax paper.
It's a sheet of glue.
Yeah.
So you have to take parchment paper or an applique pressing sheet, and you have to stick this down, put this on that because you don't want it to stick to the applique sheet.
Yeah.
Then you have to put your fabric on here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pull it off of your your parchment paper, and then you cut out your design.
Yeah.
Or you use 2 pieces of parchment paper to get the glue solidified. I mean, it's ridiculous. You cannot use this without parchment paper or an applique sheet.
Yeah.
And it to me, it's another step. And for this project, I don't think it finishes the edges good enough.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it seals off my edges. The Cricut's going to cut them just fine, but I'm worried about washing.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
I will tell you that
I don't like...
Sarah, who does fantastic art quilts,
Yep, she
loves
loves
this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well then that's...
But yeah, that extra step where you have to put the paper on, I do know
For
applique,
for
it's an extra step.
appliquing,
Yeah.
I would recommend a different project. So then
Product?
I said, yes, product.
Well, if you're doing a different project,
I
that's
just
what
love
I would
when you
recommend.
correct me.
I'm just saying, if I was doing applique, I would be looking for a different project.
Okay, so then I said, what's the closest thing to this? And you already said, probably Wonder Under,
Yes.
right? So I got me some Wonder Under. Now,
You went through all of this stuff.
what do you think I do in my spare time?
I
Probably
I
found
didn't
it
know
in
that
the
you
book.
had spare time. That's why I mean.
Wonder Under is right here at 4 Pines. You
Yes,
have it in
Wonder Under
stock.
is one of those just old school staples that you just can't live without.
Here's what I don't like about Wonder Under.
Okay.
One is it is very fine, but I like that. And when you do this project, I actually do the placement stitch in the same color as the blanket stitch, and sometimes I do the blanket stitch twice just because I really like the heavier look and the heavier thread. Didn't like my machine. My buildup is enough that I'm not worried about my edges. They're nicely built up. They look good. So I think, and you can see I've already washed mine.
Yeah.
They look great, right? No shrinkage, right? Cool.
Mhm.
So, but then you go to take this stuff off. First of all, this is a cold peel, people. And I mean cold, as in set it aside and do your cutting and come back in an hour. If you try to take this stuff off in the beginning, when it's still even the slightest bit warm,
It all comes off.
the glue looks like Misty Fuse. There's
Yeah.
like webbing of glue, some on the fabric, some on the paper. I'm like, I literally was ready to say, no more Wonder Under, I'm done with you.
You are just like speeding through. I've never had that issue. Are you like ironing it and just flipping it over, pulling it off?
Yeah, because I wanted to put it on my
Oh,
Cricut.
okay. See, I'm just.
She doesn't mess around.
So,
and
but
then,
here's
like-
what I discovered by waiting a little while, i.e. going to bed mad, getting up the next morning
in a wet bed that your husband popped a hole
in a wet bed. You guys are going to love this. I still didn't like it because I'm like this, trying to get it off my edges.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pain in the butt-inski.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been scoring Sticky Back Stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know this? Well, I didn't.
These
So
are,
I took
these are
a
just a few
pin.
things I picked up from my mother.
I
My
t-
mother used to show me
I
this.
took a pin and I went like that, and this is the next day, so it's plenty cool. And I'm like, no way. Are you kidding me? Are
Yeah,
you
score it and
kidding
away you
me?
go. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Now feel that. That's got glue on it,
It does.
but it's still nice and soft.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now become one of my favorite things for this
This
project.
one of Eddie's mustaches.
Okay, I gotta use that on a kit.
I'm a walrus.
This is a kit. This is somebody's
I want to
fence.
be a walrus.
This is somebody's fence. Literally, not only that, but I couldn't figure out how to cut people's projects ahead of time for them, which I wanted to. I could leave this paper on
Mm-hmm.
when I cut it on the Cricut, and it didn't come off because it doesn't like to come off until the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I scored it with this, it came off so easy. So this is now Wonder Under. Wonder Under is my biggest recommendation. It beat out Heat and Bond Lite, and it beat out Seam to Seam 2, both of which are used in this sample quilt, so you can feel the difference. For example, Brent, feel the fabric on the house versus the roof.
Roof seems a little bit stiffer.
No, the house feels stiffer.
Well,
Ah!
I can't tell.
Okay. Well, here's why I like.
Oh yeah, okay. Now that I'm off of the window,
Oh.
that helps.
Okay. Here's what I like about seam to seam. If you're going to cut this on your electronic machine, you're going to remove the paper from the backing before you put it on the mat because it will not stay on it. The backing will float. Your fabric will be all over the place. So no matter what electronic cutting machine you're using, you remove this. You stick it on your fabric, then remove the backing, stick it on your electronic cutting machine and cut. I didn't have to do that with my Wonder Under,
yep.
which was nice because I could deliver you cuts with paper still on them. What is nice about seam to seam is for those people who like, the reason it comes with 2 sheets of paper is it's very sticky. See? See? What that is good for is people who like to place and be artsy fancy and place stuff here and there, and it kind of sticks a little bit but not completely, so you can move around and blah blah blah. This project is so layered you can't do that anyway. There's not if you want to change your thread colors, which I did, which you don't have to, but I match my thread colors. So that's what's good about this, but it is notoriously thicker than the Wonder Under. I mean, when you look at the back of the fabric, you see a glowing bunch of glue. You do not see a bunch of glue on this fence.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to see it here
Don't
because
hurt you.
because
It's gone. It's,
because it's on the top. Never mind. I was like,
yeah,
I
you
want to see if
won't
I
see
can
it there.
I want to see if I can see
I
it.
brought some you could sample it if we have time. Heat and Bond is very much like Seam Steam 2. Light, by the way, always use light on these projects. The heavy stuff is really for when you're not going to sew at all. And
Yes.
it is heavy, so you don't want to use that. Heat and Bond is similar to Seam 2, except it's not sticky. It has no pre-stick, so it only has 1 sheet of paper, not 2. That's why Seam 2 has 2 sheets,
So
because
Heat-
it's naturally sticky.
So Heat and Bond is halfway between Wonder Under and Steam Seam.
When it's applied to the fabric, it's very much like the weight of Steam
Steam
2, but it's not sticky. So I believe you have this in stock too.
Yes, I believe I do.
So it's boiled down to 2 that you actually have.
Oh, nice.
That I like. My favorite is Wonder Under. My next go would be the Heat and Bond Lite. Because I don't want to deal with an extra piece of paper that I don't have to deal with. That's what it boils down to.
All right.
Why were you putting my fence on my fence?
I
Were
was
you
just-
checking to see how accurate my cuts
I was
were?
because you didn't want me to play Mr. Walrus with it, so I just wanted to see how it looked on the fence that you had.
Well, it's exactly the
It is
fence.
the exact same fence. It's
It's
almost like
ex-
you.
It's exactly the same fence.
You know, years ago you used to work as a fence installer.
No.
Yeah.
So now, what I
I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but I just,
Yeah.
I used to put in fences. It was exciting.
so now I'm back to wanting to cut, at least for month 1, cut people's fabric for their applique.
If they want it cut, yeah.
If they want it cut, because they got so much other stuff to learn. On month
Yep.
1, I'm going to be here 7 days. I'm like, let's break them
So
in
yeah,
slow.
so check out the schedule if you're interested in Frosty. Come join us because we have a few kits left. Well, we have to cut the kits still because we've got all the fabric.
We do now.
Yes,
We do.
we do.
The background.
But if we're gonna
If it should
This
be
is-
here
we're
today,
doing-
I'm hoping.
oh wait, a different background
No,
now?
this one. It's been ordered. It just hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, I didn't know we were waiting on that too.
But it says it's on its way. No worries. It's not like they're gonna tell me it's on a boat in the middle of the ocean that the pirates hijacked, and we're not gonna see it till.
Okay.
That's your table toppers.
That's the tabletop.
Wonder under by the yard, by
So-
far. Be patient with it cooling.
Could you imagine being that pirate? You hijack a ship and you open up the box. Well, what do I have? Oh, just some quilt kits. I mean, I would. Some people be excited, but if you're a pirate, you're looking for something totally different.
It's interesting. I'm packing up all my gear.
Okay. So anyway, I think that kind of wraps it up for this morning's exciting episode of Shenanigans with Becky and Brent. Oh, my hair is awesome this morning. Yeah,
All
we've
the
got some hair going on.
fusibles.
We
And
tried
I got one more I'm still gonna try, Brent. I'm gonna try yours.
And so, you gonna try mine?
yeah, this one.
Oh, that one. Okay.
I just stumbled upon it this morning and went,
So anyway.
I had that.
Thank you for joining us. Like I said, check out our calendar on our website. You can join us to do all of this fun frostiness that you just watched, or you could just come visit us at the store. We enjoy that too. Tell your subscribe, and all that stuff. Make us famous. I don't know why we want to be famous, but do that, and so on, and be excellent to each other.